Am I the idiot for telling my brother that his fiancée is embarrassing? I, 27, male, am the second oldest of 4 kids, Amy, 29, female, myself, Robert, 26, male, and Krista, 22, female, we're a pretty close-knit family. However, I feel that Robert's engagement to this girl, Rebecca, F26, somewhat threatens that. Robert met Rebecca about 5 years ago when they were studying at university, and they started their relationship about 2 years ago. At first, our parents, 65 male and 63 female, were largely okay with things, as we all thought the arrangement was temporary. While they didn't openly disapprove of Rebecca, they constantly reminded Robert that she had too different a background, making it unlikely for them to take the relationship seriously. For some context, Rebecca is relatively polite but a little crude and somewhat lacks modesty. According to Robert himself, she has developed a taste for expensive things, and he is often happy to indulge her. Amy disapproved from the start. She would tell Robert that Rebecca was crude and only after his money, and that he shouldn't entertain anything with Rebecca. Myself and Krista wouldn't say too much about it, but as things got more serious between Robert and Rebecca, I would try to remind Robert that we don't have the same values as Rebecca and that our parents wouldn't approve. Knowing how our parents value certain things, Robert has kept his relationship more low-key for the past few months. For example, during the Christmas holidays, he claimed to be traveling to Europe with his friends when, in reality, he spent the time with Rebecca and her parents. Next week, we have a large extended family gathering from my father's side. Earlier this week, Robert told Amy and myself on a group call that he had proposed to Rebecca, and she said yes. Amy was furious with this and told Robert that Rebecca was an unsuitable match for him, and that our parents would be livid. Robert said that they would understand eventually, and Amy then told him that he was being childish and would be given a harsh reality check when he broke the news to our parents. I was even a little annoyed that he would make such a plan without discussing it with us first, but decided not to say anything. After Amy left the call, Robert asked me if it was appropriate to tell our parents. I told him that it wouldn't be. He then asked why, and I told him that he already knew that marrying someone like Rebecca would cause significant embarrassment to our parents, particularly in the presence of our family friends and extended relatives. He got upset with me and told me that he was hoping for my support, and that I disappointed him. My intention wasn't to hurt his feelings. I only wanted to give him a small glimpse of how our parents will react when they find out. Am I the idiot? Mini update. I spoke with Krista this evening. Earlier today, Amy had brought her up to speed, so she's familiar with the situation. Long story short, she overall isn't too interested and thinks the whole situation will sort itself out. While she thinks Rebecca is a little too clingy, she believes that Robert probably has his reasons for indulging her. She did mention that Amy asked her to talk to Robert and asked him to reconsider his decision, but Krista declined, as she doesn't believe Robert has done anything wrong yet. However, she said that if Robert does decide to reveal his engagement to our parents during our family gathering, she'll be upset with him, as it would seem that he intentionally wanted to embarrass them. The last thing she mentioned is that, like Amy and myself, she believes our parents will significantly reduce Robert's financial support if he decides to proceed with the engagement. She thinks this may be a good thing, as it will give us closure on whether Rebecca is only interested in his money or not. If Rebecca does stick around, Krista said she would be pretty disappointed in me and especially in Amy. We'll all just have to wait and see how things play out. I am worried for Robert, but if he does go ahead with this, then my hands are tied. I plan to talk to Robert later and advise him to be more discreet in how he reveals the information to our parents. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. So he's called childish for getting engaged, because he needs mommy and daddy to approve of who he marries or he'll stop getting an allowance. Sounds like all of you are childish. Bunch of grown-ass adults who are afraid to do anything without your parents' permission and still depend on them for financial support. Your family is all idiots for trying to dictate who he falls in love with and marries. Comment 2. So, this falls under rich people's problems. And while Robert doesn't prescribe to the snobbery of his family, he does live off mommy and daddy's bank account. Given his lifestyle is facilitated by his parents, they feel entitled to be kept abreast of who they are financially supporting, which is reasonable. By extension, they believe they are entitled to dictate what his relationships and future are, which is unreasonable. Everyone sucks here. The family are AHs for their snobbish bigotry. Robert is the AH for publicly announcing in hopes of shaming his parents into accepting his relationship and keeping his cushy financial benefits. And yeah, Rebecca too is an AH for engaging in gold digger behavior and encouraging Robert to spend his parents' money on her. We are only getting one side of the story, but there are kernels of truth. The petty is strong with me. I would encourage Robert to publicly break up with Rebecca while quietly remaining engaged. He should finish a degree, get a job, and get settled. Then he should publicly reconnect and start dating Rebecca again. Then flip his parents, the bird engaging for a second time. then having their dream wedding because they have been saving for it with their money so his parents don't get a penny's worth of say. But I am just petty like this. Now for the update. Against my advice, Robert decided to publicly reveal his engagement to everyone present at our family gathering yesterday. A lot of our cousins and friends congratulated him and Rebecca, but Amy and I could tell that our parents were not happy and that they were only waiting for all our guests to leave. I spotted our dad talking to his brothers, I suspect about what Robert did, and they all looked quite upset. Once the guests had left, our parents called Robert, Amy, Krista, and me over to discuss the engagement privately. My own fiancée and Rebecca were chatting in a separate part of the house, and I think Amy's husband went to sleep. Needless to say, our parents were furious with Robert. They expressed serious disappointment in Robert's actions. My dad even said that Robert's actions were purely driven by his desire to embarrass the family rather than any real interest in Rebecca. Robert denied this and said that it wasn't the case, that he genuinely liked Rebecca and was serious about wanting to marry her. My mom then said that it was impossible for Rebecca to be part of our family. My parents and Amy argued with Robert for a good while. Krista sided with Robert, and she and Amy had a heated back and forth about Rebecca. I did sympathize with Robert and tried to intercede on his behalf, though admittedly not nearly as forcefully as Krista, and I got plenty of accusations of being an enabler from my mother and Amy. Thankfully, I managed to convince our parents not to cut off Robert financially as he still needs to complete his MBA. Amy endorsed this, but for our parents to agree, they wanted Robert to call off his engagement with Rebecca and end his relationship with her entirely in the coming weeks, which I think is a bit tough on Robert, but I really don't think it's a terrible deal. Robert said he'd like to discuss this with Rebecca, which annoyed my parents even more. My dad said he would humor him, and with Krista, Robert, and me, we were dismissed. Robert told us he didn't know how to proceed and that he was left with an impossible choice. He told Krista and me that perhaps he should consider dropping out of his MBA, but I told him that under no circumstances should he do that, and if he did, he would lose my support entirely. Krista also joked that he had better not disappoint her as she was already planning on attending the wedding, though I told her to stop talking like that. She then said that she was serious about going to their wedding on the condition that Robert gets a prenuptial agreement before the marriage. Robert asked me what he should do, and I told him that if I were in his position, I would probably end my relationship with Rebecca. He was a bit sad about this but said it would be something he will think about. Around this point, Amy came out of our parents' room and gave Robert an apology for lashing out. She said that it wasn't her intention to hurt his feelings but that she was looking out for his own long-term well-being. Robert did accept her apology, and I think he is opening up to the idea of ending things with Rebecca, so we'll see where things go from here. Comment 1. Your family might have money but this is literally one of the trashiest things I've ever heard. You're not royalty, literally no one cares about your stuck-up family, you all have scummy personalities anyway, I don't see how anyone would. You're the idiot still. Comment 2, not the idiot. Wow, your family is incredibly snobbish and controlling. It's sickening to see how they feel entitled to dictate who Robert can love and marry. Love is about genuine connection, not fitting into some elitist mold. Your parents and siblings need a reality check and to step back from their privileged attitudes. It's laughable that they still support all of you financially as adults, and think they have a say in your personal lives. Robert made the right choice by standing up for his relationship with Rebecca. It's none of their damn business if she's not from the same background as your stuck-up family. Your brother deserves happiness, not judgment from a bunch of entitled, overbearing snobs. You tried to be reasonable and supportive, unlike the rest of your family, and you should be commended for that. Keep being there for Robert, and encouraging him to follow his heart. It's time for your family to wake up and realize that the world doesn't revolve around their social status. If they can't accept Robert's happiness, that's their problem, not his. Comment 3. Rebecca should break off her engagement and marry into a decent family, so you guys can rot with people as feudal and elitist as you. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for refusing to accept my boyfriend's demand about me dancing at my cousin's wedding? I, female 24, am from an Indian/Bangladeshi background. My boyfriend, male 26, is white. Though he has grown up in a more conservative way, he is still very chill about culture and tries to blend into it. We have been together for 3 years. My cousin is getting married next week. Since it is a Desi wedding, you can understand the planning has been going on for like a year. And the function lasts for days. So, we have this function called Halad, where people apply a turmeric mask on the bride and there is also singing and dancing. For context, you can Google Haldi, it is the same concept. My cousin's Halad function would be as big as her wedding and each member is requested to perform a dance number. I have 3 dances ready for the function. One is my solo, another is a group, and the last one will be a couple dancing like they do in Bollywood. My BF knows this and he had no issue with it. He has been to Indian weddings before so he knows the deal. His issue is with the couple dancing. He doesn't want me to perform it. The couple dance isn't very intimate. It's just a boy who is paired up with another girl and they do dance steps together. I was paired up with a relative of mine. He is my mom's cousin's son. TBH, I still have no idea how we are related, but we are. I asked him what the problem was. He told me he doesn't want me to dance with a random guy because it makes him look bad. And since I am committed to him, it would be like cheating. I am a bit confused. He didn't have a problem until now. The dance rehearsals have been going on for 2 months. He has been to every rehearsal. I told him fine, I will see what I can do because I do not want to upset him. Now he is saying I shouldn't be dancing at all. His reasons were that it seems inappropriate. No female member in his family ever danced at a wedding where they are the center of attention, and since I will be on the stage, people will be looking at me. He doesn't want that. I tried my best to explain to him that this is part of my culture. I am not going to drop my culture just because he is uncomfortable. We had a fight and he is not talking to me. He most probably won't come to the wedding as well. Am I the idiot? Because I never wanted to do things that would hurt him. I am just trying to understand his perspective. Edit. Just to remove confusion, my BF was asked if he wants to be part of the couple dance. He agreed first, but after 2 days he said the steps were complicated. So we replaced him. And the song was not very intimate either. It was not sensual like salsa or twerking. Now for a few comments before the update. He's being controlling. The fact that he thinks dancing with a cousin is cheating, and now doesn't want her dancing at all because of other people looking at her, is a serious concern. This sounds like the first steps to him trying to isolate her. Comment 2. Your boyfriend is either insecure, jealous of the attention you'll get on stage, or both. This is controlling behavior no matter how you want to explain it away. Not the idiot, but you should have fun at the wedding and dump the BF. This won't be the last time he tries to stop you from doing things you enjoy, trust that. Now for the update. Okay, so I am done with the wedding stuff. My boyfriend and I haven't contacted each other during the ceremony. I just told him via message that I have already promised my cousin about the dance. I cannot step down because the functions are near. I told him I will talk to him once the wedding is done. I get no messages from him. I kept checking my phone. We have had fights and disputes, but we always text each other to let the other know we are fine. I was worried a lot. I called one of his friends and they told me he is fine and doesn't want to talk. So, I thought he must be mad at me. I became busy with the dance and wedding. Yes, I did perform the dance. No, I do not have the recordings with me now. I will get the official video after a month. Also, in case anyone is asking, I won't upload it because I don't want to give out my identity along with my cousins. So, after the dance I messaged him and he still didn't reply. Something was off. I went to message him on another social media account in case I get him to talk to me. But there I saw he was tagged in a post by his friends that they are at a strip club. There was a video of him getting a dance from a stripper and licking alcohol off her B00BS. I was disgusted. There were multiple stories from them of my boyfriend taking lap dances and other nasty stuff. I tried to enjoy the rest of the ceremony, but I was upset. He finally called me the next morning. And we had a fight over the phone which my cousins heard. Basically, he was angry with me and wanted to teach me a lesson to show that what I was doing was similar to him getting a dance from a stripper. I called him a sick man and broke up with him. I am fine. The wedding kept me distracted. I had fun and looked nice in my Gagra Koli. My cousins were petty. Since they were still friends with my ex on social media, they were tagging him in every picture that includes me. Especially the ones that are a single picture of mine. He blocked all of them. Thanks to Reddit, for making me see that he was not worth it. I will be fine and I am going to stuff my face with the leftover wedding food for the rest of the week. Comment 1. I remember the original post and thought you were not the idiot and that he seemed controlling. Reading this, my opinion of him is even lower. I fail to see how him getting lap dances from a stripper and fondling her is anything like you dancing with someone you consider a cousin. What a disgusting person. Good for you for dumping him. Then the original poster responded with, I am trying to find the answers but I don't think this is worth it. Some of my friends are telling me he wants to break up with me but can't find an excuse. If he wanted to break up he could have just told me. Comment 2. You're the idiot for being so uptight about your boyfriend going to a strip club. It's just a bit of fun and doesn't mean anything. Your overreacting and breaking up with him over something so trivial is immature. You should have just accepted his concerns about the couple dancing and respected his feelings. Instead, you went ahead with it and now you're surprised he acted out in response. You brought this upon yourself. Your culture doesn't excuse disrespectful behavior towards your partner. Grow up and stop playing the victim. Comment 3. You did a dance performance at your cousin's wedding and your boyfriend cheated on you in response. Licking anything of a stripper's body is 100% cheating, and he knows it's cheating too if he'd freak out about you dancing in front of your family. My God. Do not entertain ever getting back with him. He's human garbage. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.